Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly. Miller's still such trouble. He's left on second and change.
Standing out from the crowd is a challenge. You have the passion, courage, and ambition to do something extraordinary. You have an awesome story to tell and a wonderful vision to share with the world. At Eddie Videos, we take that vision and turn it into reality so you can be heard above the rest. You need something different, and we give you the ultimate advantage. We can help you transform your ideas, images, and clips into a professional video that brings your message to life and sets a new bar for excellence. Visuals, voiceovers, editing, animations, whatever you need, we've got it all. If you're a new business looking to make your mark or an experienced company searching for something new and amazing, we're here to help. Trust us to take your video to amazing levels of awesomeness.
Does he have it? Medeiros is going to get it. Oh, look at the toss! They haven't got it! He's on the outside line though, going into the fastest corner on the circuit. Surely this can't work.
Dominic Ligner has got a sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly. Miller's still such trouble. He's left on second and change. All of a sudden Miller's back in play.
Can Barry do it? Big Barry's going to do it! Big Barry! Good evening and welcome back to Tuesday night. It's the UkSimracers MX5 Season 4 2023 Round 4 from Willow Springs. I'm James Parfitt. I'm going to be joined in the booth by the one and the only Mr. Zach Sweeney here this evening as well for a circuit that I first time commentating at. The circuit itself opened in 1959 as a permanent circuit. This layout is actually called the Big Willow circuit. There is seven or eight layouts of this circuit, and it's going to be a very interesting one. Let's catch up on what is happening in the standings. We start with the AMS. Arnaud Chagnonier is out in front from 343 with Roger Morton on 258. Daniel Lewis on 229 with Fiona Siddons on 162. Darrell Wright in 5th on 139 with Steve Hansford in 6th on 124. Jason Addington in 7th on 104. Then you got Alan Toon on 96. Colin Sansom on 93. Andy Littler on 83. Then you got Dale Bennison, Callum McPherson, Alexander Longo, Mick Barry, Anthony Jacobson and Jordan Syret in the pros. It is John Sylvester out in front on 509 points. And you've got Jamie Ayres on 498, Pete Van Gaal on 484, Miles Owens on 431 with Tom Griffiths in 5th on 424, Ewan Bramer in 6th on 407, Steve Hefford on 353. Then you go into Charles Callaghan on 254 with Brian Holmes 237. Top 10 rounded out by Ralph Cullinan on 216. Then you got Martin Sampson, Pete Newman, Ches Rizzo, Lee Deemer, Jono Johnson, and then we've got no points on the board for Dan Hunt, Darren McLean or Craig Jones. Now in the team standings, there has been a change. SOB are out in front on 1347 with Momo on 1335. Then you've got the results clothing iRacing team in third on 165, Air Smart Racing on 447, Orion Race Team 437, Optical Green on 378. Then you've got Work Guard, Safeguard, Optical Red, Fix Auto, DOF and Pure Sims below that. Now, this is the championship that matters. This is the Viewers Prediction Cup. As you can see, Zach Sweeney there is out in front on 509 with Phil across the pond on 494. Ria Subra on 438. Then my very good self in 4th on 381. Then you got Colin Sampson, Lee Deemer, David Ayres, Shadow N, Toxic Munchkin, Handsome Stew, Carl Hardy and Tyes Van Gaal. Now let's bring the man who is leading the Production Cup Championship into the booth, the one and only Mr. Zach Sweeney. Good evening to you, young sir. How are you?
I'm doing good again. It lights up my evening every single time I see that Predictions Cup Championship standings because, albeit, yeah, the gap is a little bit closer than it was this time last week. But doesn't matter, right? I can win by 1 point, I can win by 100 points. As long as I'm at the top step in a few weeks' time, then that is all I give a Scooby about. Really looking forward to tonight, though. It's been a while since I've been to Willow Springs. Obviously, a new addition to the iRacing service. But I remember back when I first started sim racing on Gran Turismo Sport with, on the PlayStation and things. This is one of my sort of the starter circuits you go to. And it's so much fun to drive. Obviously, it's quite difficult, again, like most North American circuits. You are in the middle of a desert. And that obviously adds to the challenge. You can see that curb at turn 1, very difficult curb to get right. You've then got the long right-hander that loops back on itself, going to be so difficult in order to sort of maintain the grip all the way through. Thankfully, these cars are rear-wheel drive. Come in the Clios or the TCRs or something like that. It's going to be a very difficult corner. But in the MX5, it shouldn't be too bad. Just the circuit in general, it's just a lot of fun. And as I say, we'll punish you if you make a mistake. If you go off, you're going to know about it. If you chonk too much curb, you're going to know about it. And if you sort of go for a move in the wrong place, chances are you're probably going to know about it as well. And we've got 4 15-minute races back-to-back, hopefully, to spark some good news in terms of that championship fight.
Yeah, absolutely. Track temperature at the moment, only 22 degrees. It's only 9 a.m. though, mind you, in the morning. So let's see how and where and whether or not that raises as the sessions go on. We have got the first 2 sessions, of course, and then we go into race 3 and race 4. There will be a break during that period of time why we change over sessions here, so we will basically give you some wonderful music to listen to. So let's see. Good evening to you, Phil. Good evening, Summer Farm Estates, which is Fiona Siddons, and then good evening to Rio, who's also here as well. I'll take first if we keep up last week's pattern. He did do rather well, mind you, last week as well, did Rio? Scored 181 points. Here's an interesting thing. Both me and you, we both scored 141.
How much did Rio score again?
181.
Oh.
I know.
Respect. To be fair, respect where it's due. She did all right. Good job.
Yeah,
but,
we didn't do.
Everyone gets a lucky round.
Yeah, we didn't do so well though. We were on 141 each. Phil was on 166, and Ria banged in 181. So yeah.
Fair play.
Fair play. I know. Fair play. But yeah, this week's going to be interesting. As normal rules, Zach Sweeney, you have got 10 minutes before I ask you for your picks. The last 2 minutes to go here as well. That gives you a chance to have a look and see where everyone is, as per normal, without you looking like you're going to need to, cheat and pick the top guys. So
hang on, who chose pole last week?
I did.
Exactly. So shush.
And I scored 52 points in race 1. Where you scored 38.
Yeah, well done. I'm proud of you. Good job.
Do you know what? There are times in our relationship where I feel that, you're being a little bit cheeky. And 52 points is actually the winning number for the first race last week. So 50 for the win. Young sir.
Of course, and then two for pole.
Pole and then laps and all the other jargon that comes with it. So there we go. At the moment, we've got E1 Bramer from SOB topping it on a 127.68. Darryl Wright on a 127.81. And then we go into the 128s of Tom Griffiths there as well. Andy Littler has put a time on the board of a 129. Let's have a look and see how Brian Holmes gets on, as he currently doesn't have a time on the board at the moment. He is registering off track. So what do we think on off tracks around Willow Springs? Because to be honest with you, I've not driven this circuit, right? And I'd not actually been here. I had to literally get the track about 15 minutes earlier on before I started setting up. So overall, the circuit itself, I would say, doesn't look too complicated, Zach. I think that's one of the things here. When you look at Willow Springs, right, you've got a long looping right, short left, right, left, right, and you're on the straight again. So it doesn't seem complicated because it's only got 9 turns. It's almost like Red Bull in the Red Bull Ring in Austria. 9 turns, few squigglies, few straights, but this is a bit more squiggly, haven't they? It's almost looking like it's got to be a bit more flowy from the drivers at the moment.
It's quite deceptive, this circuit. Obviously, as you say, on paper, it's whatever. It's track, innit? It's whatever. Then you get onto it. I remember, obviously, going back to sort of the Gran Turismo days, I remember going on to do the license tests. Anyone that's familiar with Gran Turismo and whatever will know that you do sort of the driving school and you get your gold, silver, bronze, whatever it is. I remember looking on this track, I was like, it's going to be easy, innit? It'll be fine. And then I get into the track, I'm like, I've understood at turn 1. Oh, I've clobbered the curb at turn 1. And then it's like, I finally got through turn 1, and then I've understood at turn 2, and then I've broken too late at turn 2, and then I finally get to turn 3, and I'm like, and then I've clipped the gravel going in, and then I've launched myself over this curb, literally like that, just a little bit worse.
Yeah.
And then you come through here, you understeer out wide rather than keeping it tight. Depends obviously what car you're in, what line you want to take. Done that many times. I've gone completely straight on here because I forgot there was a corner here, so I've just gone straight on there. You understeer off here and find yourself, just skipping this right, essentially like doing this. It's such a deceptive track, and it will chew you up and spit you out if you let it. Obviously, then you've got the long sweeper. My favourite corner, but also my worst corner, is the final corner at turn number 9. When you get it, it is the most heavenly corner in the world. You feel like you're Lewis Hamilton. The moment you get it wrong, you feel like you're Nikita Mazepin. You stay out wide, you brake in a straight line, you just gradually trail brake the car through. You hit that little bit of camber on the inside there and you floor it. You dip a wheel onto the gravel on the exit and you feel like you are on top of the world. Or you brake too late and go straight on into the gravel. And there's actually a ditch right at the end of there. Been in there so many times. And then obviously, or you sort of clobber that inside curb, run too wide, or find yourself in the pit lane. So, as I say, it's either the best track in the world or the worst track in the world, no matter which sort of, whatever day you're feeling like you're doing, whatever car you're driving, and obviously how many skill issues you decide to have on the way. I think it is a brilliant circuit. How well it'll do in terms of overtaking is another thing. Because obviously it's new to iRacing, it's new to some of these guys potentially if they've never had the opportunity to drive it on a different sim before. But I think we're in for a lot of fun. I think it is definitely going to be a race of attrition.
Yeah, well, let's see how this one pans out. It's definitely going to be an interesting circuit. It's definitely going to be the way it looks, the way it handles, the fact that we've got long runoffs. We haven't got walls as such. If we were in Laguna or Sonoma, when we're in this desert kind of environment, we've got quite a long runoff around. Unfortunately, that is not an ideal place to park there. I think that was Charles Kellerman who just sat there. So they have got a bit of runoff, and with the new depth that's added to the gravel, could it save them before they end up going flying off into the shadow realm, which looks a possibility here because, as you say, there is this long area, that it's quite a open, expansive circuit, isn't it? And I think that's one of the things that could at times probably saved these drivers rather than hindering them.
Yeah, I agree. It's, I mean, obviously the way to be quick is to stay on the track. You know, that goes without saying. Obviously, you don't need gravel to save you or anything like that if you stay on the track. So, all in all, keep it pointing the right way, right? That's the general consensus. But as you saw, I think someone in the background just done it. You go straight on. Thankfully, obviously, sort of as we've touched on many a time in the past, iRacing have made the gravel a bit more bearable. So it's not just a case that you're going straight if you touch it and you're a complete passenger. You can kind of control the car. I wouldn't say it necessarily saves them as such. But, I mean, it's better than finding a barrier. And it's definitely better than grass.
I agree.
So at least there is that. You have also got to be really careful because there are loads of opportunities to go for a jump around here. And if you can spot them, they're a lot of fun. So maybe expect that on some of the cooldown laps as people just completely launching the car over some of the curbs. At the moment, and you, hang on, fellow cross points, you will need to get here 3 days before Zach to be first at anything. Hang on.
Oof.
Who's leading the championship, Phil? It's me. It's me. All right, okay, cool.
Oh,
awesome.
We're only on round 4. Back up, Priscilla. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
that's a third of the way through the season.
Yeah, but there's plenty of time for everybody to catch you up and overtake
Or
you.
more time for me to build a bigger gap.
Well, yes, but I'm sure we all hope that doesn't happen.
Cheers, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks for the support.
Well, let's be real, right? You will be unbearable if you win this season. You know what I mean? You will be just physically unbearable. So I won't be able to cope if you win. I'm not going to lie on this one. But you've only got a couple of minutes before you pick your person for race 1. Couple of minutes, guys, as well, so get thinking at home, and if you do want to join in the Prediction Cup, the only rule is you cannot pick the same driver twice. Other rules, well, we kind of make them up as we go along.
Yeah.
I think that's only fair. I think at the end of the day, you know, make them up as we go along, have some fun in the process. And that is about it here as well. So I did pick up on John Sylvester because he was looking quick at one point, but there's quite a few people in the pits at the moment. Pete Newman, Darrell Wright, PVG, Charles Kellerman, Colin Sampson, Martin Sampson, Brian Holmes and Dan Hunt as well. Now we're at that stage of qualifying where, as we know, times start evening, leveling out a little bit. They don't really start making improvements massively. Alexander Longo is on an improvement in sector 1, so we'll keep an eye and see what he can do. As you can see in the background there, that was Andy Littler in the 999, unfortunately going off. What does Alexander Longo do? Does he move up from 9th? No, he does not. So, 3.5 minutes, young sir. Have you... Ria's gone for Griffiths. Okay. Being that he's on pole.
But he's on pole by 4/10.
He's the only man in the 126s as well.
Exactly. Yeah. It's... He's looking good, and it kind of entices me to well, it just seems a bit yeah.
Just do it.
If I go for Tom Griffiths, no, because I don't want to. As much as I like Tom Griffiths, as much as I respect him, I don't know if he is going to win. You know what? I think Jamie Ayres is going to pull a blind to this race. Do you know what? I'm just going to go with Jamie Ayres.
Right, Phil's gone for Jamie Ayres as well. I'm going to go for Steve Hefford. Good evening, Mikey Pollard. How are you? Hope you are well. If you'd like to join in with the Prediction Cup, pick a driver on the left-hand side who you think is going to win race 1. And let's see. The only rule is you can't pick the same driver twice. You've got 4 races, and you will find yourself on the championship table because there's 10 of us, I think, at the moment as well. So I've gone for Steve Hefford. We've got Ria's got Tom Griffiths, Jamie Ayres for Phil, Jamie Ayres for you, and Steve Hefford for me. So there you go. He also said, and no offence, he's away from the troublemakers. Who said that? Have I missed something? Oh. All right. Well, Steve Evans, Jamie Ayres, as Jamie Ayres does that.
It's fine. He's getting him out. He's getting out of the system. He's flashing himself. He's just, yeah. I don't know. He's getting the mistakes out. He's showing us what he's not going to do, and he's filling me with confidence. I'm ready for him. He's good. It'll be fun.
All right, Mikey Pollard's come for Newman, and he put it in capital letters, so he's shouting at us as well as Mike Pollard.
Yeah, he's going Newman.
Newman, governor. All right, Mikey. Don't forget, the rules are, Mike, you can't pick the same driver twice, all right? So when it comes to race 2, you can't have Newman again. Okay? So, yeah. No Pete Newman again. Okay? So, last minute 20 on the clock here in qualifying. So, we will be having the grid up very, very shortly for race 1. Now, if you've never been here before, guys, well, why? This racing has been amazing. This season has been amazing. These guys will literally throw everything at each other, including the kitchen sink and including the appliances and technical things that go in with it. It's been an epic evening of racing, Zach, ahead of us, I think, to be honest. These guys never really disappoint, do they?
They don't. Yeah, just enough said, really. They don't disappoint. Week in, week out, we have a lot of fun. Week in, week out, we see top racing. We have our fun, of course. We have our banter with YouTube chat, and then on the flip side of that, very good balance here at JPB. We've also got just incredible racing on track. 4 15-minute races with reverse grids and pros and ams and everything that goes on in terms of that championship battle. I mean, after what is it? We're now on to our 4th season of combined totals. And we've got Sylvester, Ayres, and Griffith separated by less than 50 points, which is less than a race win after 10 months of racing. And then obviously in the current one coming into today, only 25 points separate the top 3. So really good stuff, and about to see race 1.
Tom Griffiths on pole, Steve Hefford in 2nd, Jamie Ayres in 3rd, Pete Newman 4th, Darryl Wright there in the arms in 5th. Then you've got John Sylvester in 6th, Miles O in 7th, Ewan Braymer 8th, Alexander Longo 9th, Pete Van Gaal 10th, Charles Kellerman 11th, and then Andy Littler. Beyond that, you've got Colin Sansom, Ralph Cullinan, Martin Sampson, Mick Barry, Arnold Chagnon, Lee Deemer, Brian Holmes, Sir Alan Toon, Fiona Siddons, and Dan Hunt. Dan Hunt coming through first. I think this is the first appearance of the season, isn't it, for Mr. Hunt, if I'm not mistaken? So. Yes, I believe so as well, but we are going to be up and running very, very shortly. Listen, I think Sylvester is an amazing driver. That said, a lot of coming togethers, and it's not just him, says Rhea. Fair analogy.
Fired.
Yeah. Sorry? Did you just pew me?
That was my gunshots, yeah.
And that was the best you and that's the best you got, is it?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So Zach there all thinks all guns sound like Star Wars laser beams. So
Call of Duty asked me to do the sound effects for the machine guns.
Did they?
Yeah.
What was it? Just lots of pew 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 pew. Right, here we go.
Yeah, exactly, into a microphone.
Nice. Race 1 is up and running here. Round 4 is just about to get underway. We got 5 lights. We are up and running now. It is green, green, green. And we've got Tom Griffiths out in front with Steve Hefford, Jamie Ayres, and Pete Newman. Nobody's changed positions at this moment in time. There is no swaps here whatsoever. Tom Griffiths is getting on his bike a little bit. Newman bounces the curb coming through turn 1. Everybody through cleanly. There's a few changes. Sansom's past Littler. Darryl Wright is down 5, unfortunately, here once more, but it is Steve Hefford, Tom Griffiths, as they take the long, sweeping right hand around turn 2.
They do. It's a very, very long run, especially if you're trying to go side by side as well. You can see the 2 SOB cars trying to make it work, but nothing quite yet. Tom Griffiths versus Steve Hefford going into turn number 3. Probably a decent break, outbreaking opportunity to try and get a move done if you can. But very nicely held in the opening moments by Tom Griffiths. But I think the opportunity, sort of the main aim for these guys is to, force themselves into an opportunity where they can attack. Tom Griffiths. As it stands, of course, he is a very quick driver in qualifying, and Steve Pfeffert is trying to put some pressure on him now and, you know, maybe launch an attack for the race lead. It's going to be very difficult to do so, and look at Jamie Ayres. He's going to make it 3 wide.
Oh, they're 3 wide already, going down into the turn 8, into the sweeper. Steve Pfeffert and Jamie Ayres there as well. Both make demote Tom Griffiths down 2 places. Griffiths has managed to sweep through as well. There's epic racing here side by side. As you can see, Steve Pfeffert in first with Tom Griffiths in second. Jamie Ayres third. Pete Newman sitting in fourth. Pfeffert's off onto the gravel. He's now going to lose a bunch of time. That gravel down that back straight, down that front straight, past the start-finish line, and Steve Pfeffert's now down into third. That in-depth gravel, that added depth cost Steve Pfeffert there. He lost an absolute bunch of time.
Yeah, he did, and that's going to cost him. Jamie Ayres moves his way up into the race lead. Steve Pfeffert immediately on the counter-attack, and now we've got the entirety of the top 8 all involved in the lead fight. The long way around for Steve Pfeffert as he maintains that momentum and stays in second place. You can see Pete Newman trying to pick his way through and up onto the podium. Not being the start to this race that Tom Griffiths would have wanted by any stretch of the imagination. Jamie Ayres has decided he doesn't want to be in this race anymore, or at the very least his car doesn't, blinking in and out of existence. And let's hope he's able to stay firmly in this session for the duration of this race.
Yeah, that would be a good idea. Looks like Miles Owens had a bit of a moment as well. Unfortunately, he looks like he's off the side of the circuit, and unfortunately for Owens, he's all the way down into 19th place. And Miles Owens on lap 2 looks like he's come a bit of a cropper. We'll have a look back at that one very, very shortly. We're on board with the yellow Robard Momo Steve Pfeffert, car number 72, chasing down Jamie Ayres as they go round this long corner. Steve, you've done this before and you've caused yourself problems. You want to tighten that up now as well. Is Griffiths alongside us? Is that what's causing the problem here, Zach? No, he is not. But for Steve Pfeffert, he's done the same thing again. Is he not learning on that final corner over these last 2 laps?
No, I think he is just pushing that little bit too hard, but it's actually, you know, ended up in being a decent run. You can see now Tom Griffiths makes it 3 wide. Jamie Ayres sandwiched in the middle of the 2, but he might go for an up and under. Steve Pfeffert, the long way round of 2 cars, beautifully done, and now he's got to keep it on the grey stuff. Pete Newman getting himself involved as well, up onto the podium place. That's forced Jamie Ayres quite wide. He's going to give it a go around the outside, beautifully done by the Welshman, and if he can keep his foot in, that would see him retain the podium place. He has to just keep his nose ahead. Going into the next braking zone at turn 3, Pete Newman gives him the squeeze. Jamie Ayres is deterred off the road. Is he brave enough on the brakes? Not quite, and stays in 4th place. A beautiful move from Steve Pfeffert, though. He turned a mistake into an opportunity, and he leads this race.
Yeah, Jamie Ayres trying to go around the outside of Pete Newman here as well. Momo and Pure Sims there. Alexander Longo leading the AMS at the moment. He's got Darrell right behind him. There's been a bit of a carnage. Oh, has there been carnage? PVG and Brian Holmes. What has happened here? As you can see, PVG there gets turned, I think, by the 999 Andy Littler. And watch Brian Holmes. There goes Van Gogh. Oh! Unfortunately, nowhere there for PVG, nowhere for Brian Holmes. Mick Barry takes a little bit of a divert as well, and unfortunately goes off the side of the circuit. So we're back up with his front group at the moment. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, not very far apart. Jamie Ayres now here. Steve goes off the side of the circuit. We've got Pete Newman in second. Steve Evans still leading with Tom Griffiths tucked up right behind him as they go running down into turn 1. Is Griffiths be able to get this from Newman? I think we've got Jamie Ayres somewhere around us here, Zach, as well. I think he's climbing all over the side of us at the moment. And that Momo there in that number 46, not giving it up easy.
Nah, he's not. He's, well, just driving very, very strong. And, well, Jamie Ayres is just driving at the top of his game, really. He doesn't really want to fall backwards in this train by any stretch of the imagination. He just wants to move forwards. Unfortunately, that's not quite been the case for him. But with how hectic these pack races are, with how changeable these things are as well, how fluid they are, things can, you know, change at the drop of a pin, and they probably will. You can see now Miles Owens really involved with Fiona Siddons and Darrell Wright as they work their way through and up into 3 and now into 4, all over the gravel. That little hill that they've got there really sort of unsettles the car. We've now got 4 cars, 5 cars even, nose to tail, as they run their way down into 5, then 6. This beautiful sweeping left that, if you get it right, is absolutely amazing to feel the rush of the car as it dips down its way down through. But as we follow Ralph Cullinan trying to pick his way through the pack. Is he going to be able to make some moves up? Well, only time will tell.
Yeah, he's looking quick. There's a couple of times Ralph's had to check up here, and I just wanted to see what was happening on board. He looks like he's carrying quite a lot of pace. You can see now he's alongside Siddons here on the left-hand side. She's out wide, of course, and then obviously we're bringing in the inside line with Cullinan. Cullinan is through. There's lots going on up here. Pete Newman has taken the lead over Steve Hefford. He's now gone on the gravel. Hefford's going to try and run around the outside with Jamie Ayres, Tom Griffiths and John Sylvester. This is a fight. Let's just say here that this is the battle of the giants out of this series, right? Newman, Hefford, Ayres, Griffiths and Sylvester. 5 gladiators that you don't really want to meet on track if you can help it.
Yeah, that is true. And if you do meet them on track, run. Yeah.
I agree.
Well, obviously run forwards, go as fast as you can. That's probably going to, and if you're able to do it, if you're able to, make it work, then fair play. But yeah, definitely these guys are tricky cars to fight because, they're not going to give an inch. They're here to win. They're here to be at the highest level they can be. So if you do find yourself amongst them, then good luck to you. But as it stands, we've got absolutely nothing between these guys whatsoever into the second half of heat number 1, race number 1, of course. We then go to 2, 3, and 4. So plenty of racing action to indulge ourselves in. And so far, I have to say, Willow Springs, it's been a decent success.
It definitely has here. So many lines that you could take through this final corner. I think that's what's the interesting thing. As you can see, that line from Jamie Ayres, we've seen so many people do that. It's just crazy. But there's so many lines that you can take, and I think that's what's been working in certain drivers' favours. They're finding that quicker lines at one place is not always quicker at the same place, and that's the thing. It's working out what the lines are. I don't know how many of these have gone out and practiced on this circuit, to be honest. It could be all of them, it could be none of them, it could be one of them. It could be the fact that they've just used the first 3 hours of practice to get used to the circuit, So overall, the circuit itself has delivered, and now we've got a little bit of a breakaway. Newman, Hefford and Ayres breaking away from Griffiths and Sylvester. We've also got Martin Sampson. He is currently battling away with Alexander Longo and also Arnaud Chagnonier, who's leading the AMS currently at the moment in the standings. So a nice little tidy battle further down. But Sampson at the moment's got to hold up Longo and see what happens as they come out of turn 5 and into the Monroe Ridge of turn 6.
Yeah, beautiful battle between these two. I have to say, Longo is having a brilliant race. I mean, 7th overall and fighting away with Sampson. Not at all a bad shout, but he has got to be careful because his fellow countryman Ivana Chagnonier is just in behind. Only 3 tenths back. There could well be the move from Longo, and yes, it's sort of an interclass thing, but he does need to make these places up, not only obviously for points, but also for the fact that he's got an attack from Chagnonier in the near distant future. So he needs to sort of get a move on, essentially, get a car between himself and his rival so that he can sort of breathe as such. He's going defensive going into turn number 1. Samson pulls out to the right-hand side. He brakes a lot later, carries in a little bit more speed, you'd imagine, as he's got that commitment. Has he got the agility to sell the move to the outside? He has. Beautifully done as Samson picks his way back in a 6th, and what that has actually done is allow Chagnonier to maybe have a look at his rival.
Definitely here, Chagnonier battling away, second in the AMS at the moment. These guys nose to tail. Back up front, Jamie Ayres, Steve Hefford and Pete Newman also nose to tail as well. Newman got the entrance in out, the exit out of 3 and the entrance into 4. A little bit wrong there. He bounced the curb that unsettled that MX5, put him out a little bit of line, and now that's allowed Steve Hefford to come and climb all over Newman. Griffiths has lost that place till Sylvester further back as well. Ralph Cullinan's having a nice little battle with Miles Owens, Ewan Bramer and Darrell Wright. As you can see that on the left hand side, that's 12th, 13th, 14th and 15th. As Hefford again trying this outside line, Zach. He does like it this evening.
Yeah, he's not doing too bad. He's really utilising it well. Of course, just committing. A little bit of a shaky moment going into the final corner. That's understandable. What you want is a late apex to put your foot down and run side by side through the pit straight. He's just been able to get a nose ahead relative to Pete Newman. Jamie Ayres sat idle, waiting for his time to strike. 4.5 minutes left to go, and you can see Jamie Ayres perfectly utilising the slipstream of his teammate going into the first corner. Around the outside goes Hefford. He clips a fairly decent apex considering the fact he's got a car on his inside. It opens the gap up on the right for Jamie Ayres to fill. He picks his way into second. beautiful camaraderie between the two Momo cars, and Pete Newman all by himself at front. He's fighting a 2 versus 1 fight.
I can't see this being done. I cannot see this being over as well. Well, lap times are 1:27. I think there's plenty more in the fight with Hefford, with Ayres, with Newman as they're battling out for the 1, 2, 3 in the pros at the moment. You can see on the top of your screen, Chagnon leading the AMs. He's not too far ahead of Alexander Longo, so he's going to have to be a little bit more careful here as well. Sansom and Littler have just swapped places. That could be the fact that Colin Sanson is off. Darrell Wright is into the pits. PVG has jumped into the pits as well, unfortunately. Now, it's all about these Momo boys. Can they work together, Zach? Because we have seen it. Should we just put it that way?
Yeah. We've also seen that pretty much with every other team on the grid.
SOB is...
Not naming names, but SOB. Yeah,
I am going to name names because SOB and both Momo have careered into teammates.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, and obviously with sort of the problem with having such a good team is that team is going to be fighting each other for a championship. So many times we've seen the same drivers in the same teams fighting for the championship, and you have to sort of see where your priorities are. And for some, it is, I'm my own driver. I'm going for the Drivers' Championship. You know, if we win the teams, then great. But that's not my main focus. I just want to finish as high as I can. Of course, you know, if you can help your teammates, then by all means go for it, like they have done here. Now they've gotten ahead of Newman, then you know they might well be able to have their own battle amongst themselves. But I don't think that's quite going to be the case because Pete Newman is absolutely hammering Steve Hefford for second place. They do run side by side through the sweeping downhill section. It's Hefford on the inside. Newman trying to get the up and under though. Is it going to work for him? Because he's now on the outside. He's going to have to then go for another up and over if he can. But I don't think he's quite been able to. He's going to stay on the outside. What this has done, though, is allowed Jamie Ayres to say, cheers, boys, I'm off.
Yeah, Jamie Ayres has opened it up a little bit as they're coming around that final corner. Hefford's off his normal line. We've seen Steve Hefford run that outside line, but now he's going to have to lean on John Sylvester on the outside as he's coming around that final corner. Newton there as well. Hefford does, I tell you what, right, I'm not going to lie here for Steve. He has got some pace coming out of that final corner. He does look swift, Zach. I'm not going to lie, and I think that's what's saving him to a degree here as well. But it just goes to show one touch of the gravel and Willow Springs will spit you up and chew you out, and that's kind of what it's done here as well. Now they're setting after Jamie Ayres. If he keeps doing that, they're going to be on him with this lap and one more to go. So it's going to be very, very tight here on that final lap because they crossed the line at a 1:30 mark. So they might make it by about 3 seconds. So we'll keep this on and see what goes on here as well. But it's going to be very, very tight at the moment.
It will. And what we've got the top 5, no more than half a second really between any of them. They all have a chance, but time is not a luxury. Well, it is a luxury. It's not something they can really take for granted. They're going to have to be on it for the next lap and a half that they have got left of this race. And if they do want to win, Jamie Ayres, of course, trying to manage that gap back to Pete Newman and hope that he's not victim of sort of that last lap charge that Pete Newman often does have. He just switches on and gets alive when it comes to the final lap. A bit of an issue further back. We had a little bit of a disagreement between the AM leaders.
Yeah, Chagnon and Longo. Now, I don't know if Longo lost it all on his own here, but unfortunately he plummeted. Oh, he did. Alexander Longo has just seen that podium go out of the AM fight. Arnold Chagnon is taking it up and is leading. Miles Owens, Ralph Cullen, and a no-bumpered Ewan Bramer here as well. These guys now are still fighting it out. These guys are on the final lap, and it looks like Steve Hefford's made an even instrumental bigger mistake coming out the final corner there because he's now behind Tom Griffiths on the final lap.
Yeah, he's fallen himself off the podium. It's going to be difficult, I think, for anyone other than Ayres or Newman to win this race. It's a head-to-head between the two of them. They've got 2/3 of a lap left to go and plenty of action, I'm sure, between now and then. Pete Newman pushing the limits on the exit of turn 2 into 3. Still not enough to see him make a big enough mistake, and still seeing him all over the rear end of Jamie Ayres through the uphill section where you peak at the track, and then you running your way downhill the rest of the way through 4, then into 5 and 6. Beautiful sequence of corners to get right. You're basically making turn 5 a straight line. As soon as the car is straight, you're braking, turning in for 6, and Jamie Ayres doing a brilliant job of keeping Newman at bay. But with the slipstream, with this long flat-out run before the next braking zone at turn number 9, it is going to be tricky for Ayres to retain the lead. All he's got to do is park the car in the best position possible.
Yeah, he definitely has. Now it's all on Newman. It's all on Newman. Is he going to be able to run that outside line? Is he going to be able to hold him? He's now going to cut back on him, Zach. He's going to cut back. He's going to try it here for Pete Newman. He is going to try it. Do you know what? He's going to get it. He is going to get it. It's going to be Pete Newman at the line. It is Newman at field with Jamie Ayres. Ayres is trying to block off Griffiths. Oh! Newman, Ayres, Griffiths and Hefford. There's another run going on here with Ralph Cullinan and Miles Owens. Owens is squeezing the Irishman into the shadow realm. Bye, Ralph.
Wow. That was a self-sacrifice?
Yeah. I would have leant back, personally. I'm not going to lie. I would have made sure that Miles Owens knew that I was there. Not going to lie with Ralph Cullinan. That's got to be a little bit of a bit of appeal, because, look, watch the chink.
Squeeze.
Oh, and then just send him off into it. Yeah, see you later, mate. Take care. Adios, senor. So we'll just wait for Colin Sansom. However, that car does not look good. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure that MX5 is supposed to have 4 wheels spinning, and I believe by the looks of it, there was contact with Martin Sanson. So let's have a look and see how this one went about here as well. Bramer, Cullinan, Owens, Bit of a silly Billy move there, I would say, to be honest with you, young Zach.
Yeah, a little bit of an oopsie.
Oopsie, yes, oopsie daisy. So here we go, guys, as well. We will be going into that brief a little warm-up, but let's bring you up the results from race 1. Well, I think you can all agree if that's what we've got coming up, it's going to be epic. Pete Newman is your winner with Jamie Ayres in 2nd, Tom Griffiths in 3rd, Steve Hefford in 4th. So it's Newman, Ayres and Griffiths. So well done to all you people that have picked that places. Unfortunately, my pick, Steve Hefford, was down in 4th. Then we got John Sylvester and Sean Yonye with Lee Deemer, Andy Littler, Ewan Bramer, Miles Owens rounding out the top 10. Ralph Cullinan, Fiona Siddons, Alexander Longo, Mick Barry, Sir Alan Toon, Colin Sanson, Charles Kellerman and Martin Sampson. With Darrell Wright, Brian Holmes, PVG and Dan Hunt. So there we go. Well, there we go, Zach. An interesting one.
Yes.
Oh, you are still here. I didn't know if you were still awake or not.
Oh, no, I am still awake. Yeah, work wasn't too busy today. Saying that, no, it was. We had a massive diesel spill, and I was tasked to clean it up, and it was a lot of sweeping out in the car park. But anyway, that's irrelevant. That's just why I'm a little bit more drowsy than usual. But no, I'm still ready to go. I'm jacked up on. I've had a Monster and a Red Bull today, because I decided to treat myself. But I'm looking at it. What's the reverse grid again?
12.
Top 12. Wow, we've got a lot of choices.
Hurry up, though, because we've got Steve Efford. Right, while you think about it, I'm going to bring Steve Efford in for a chat. My pick from race 1 was looking awesome. And then it looked like towards the end of the race, it just petered out a little bit. But let's have a chat with the man himself, and I'm sure he'll tell me it was all planned. Steve Efford, welcome in, buddy. How are you?
Oh, not bad, thanks. Yeah, it was all planned.
It was all planned, was it? 1st to 4th?
Oh, man, what a track, though. I mean, it's just tiny mistake, you know. I was playing, you know, me and Jamie were sort of working with each other, and then Pete just put his nose down the inside. I knew he wasn't gonna come, but I had to leave him room, and then Jamie was away then, you know.
Yeah.
And then it was the slightest mistake on the last corner, gave Tom the legs on me on that. But I mean, it's just an amazing track, really. You're proper on the edge. It's new to everyone, you know, but we've done quite a bit of practice, and it's the more you do it, the better it gets.
Yeah, exactly. It does look fun. This is the first time I've been here. I didn't actually own the track till about 15 minutes before the practice session opened, to be honest with you, Steve. So, you know, at the end of the day, it looks fun. The draft looks strong. Now, I'm going to say you look very strong coming out of that last 8 and 9, that last final corner. You are looking a little bit racy coming out there, Steve. Do you think you could have taken that win? There was a couple of times you hit the growing gravel.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I reckon I could. It's hard, that last corner, because there's not a great deal of reference points around you, especially when you've got other cars in the mix as well, you know. So yeah, it is difficult, but when you get a good line, you can be really quick. But it's so easy to just overcook it and put a wheel on the dirt on the outside, and it's just the wrong place, because then you've got the rest of the straight then for everyone to come roaring past, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a fine balance. It's a fine line.
How old is it since the depth's been added into that gravel? What's the sort of situation here? Because this reminds me of a very Laguna-esque. It's all desert. So does it slow you down as much as what it seems?
Yeah, it does. It slows you down more. It's easier to keep it on. I didn't mind it before, to be honest, all the grass, but it does definitely. There's more grip, but it slows you down more.
Yeah.
And this dirt, I think they're getting ready for bit of rain, to be honest. I can see the clouds in the distance.
Yeah, well, I don't know if that's going to appear tonight, Steve. I'm not going to lie. Maybe one day.
No, maybe not tonight.
No, maybe not tonight.
It's on the way.
Yeah.
I think what they're doing is it's all to do with it.
Well, let's hope and see. We might get it by Christmas. Might be our Christmas present, Steve.
Hope so. It'd still be a year late if it was, but here's hope.
We'll go with that one. But Steve, thanks so much for joining us there, bud. We'll pop you back in the Momo room. You've got 26 seconds left to practice, bud. Look forward to seeing what you can do in race 2.
Steve.
Cheers, dude.
Steve, you going to win?
Oh, yeah. Of course I am.
I'm going with Steve Heppard.
All right, then. Right, so, Steve, tough. You know what I mean?
Oh, dear.
All right,
No
mate.
pressure.
Take care, bud.
See you later.
Oh, okay. Steve Heppard. Okay. Now, I've got Miles Owens right this time around. I'm feeling strong. I'm going to go. I feel Miles Owens is deserving. Phil, come on. Who are you picking, Zach, so I don't pick the same driver? He picked Steve Heppard. Ewan Bramer, you can't pick if you're in the race.
Why not?
I don't know. Zach, grids up.
It is. Fiona Siddons takes pole position ahead of Ralph Cullinan. Miles Owens up there in third place. So again, not a bad shout at all. He's joined by SOB teammate of Ewan Bramer on row 2. Andy Littler in 5th with Lee Deemer, Arnold Chonier and John Sylvester, the top 8. Steve Hefford, come on lads, alongside Tom Griffiths on row 5. Jamie Ayres and Pete Newman, victor of race 1, rounds off row number 6. Beyond that, it's the finishing order of race 1. And winner of Longo and Mick Barry make up 13th and 14th. We've got Sir Alan 2 in the top 15, Colin Sanson, Charles Kellerman, Martin Sampson, row 9 with Darryl Wright and Brian Holmes rounding off the top 20. PVG and Dan Hunt, the 22nd and final car on the grid. We're about to get ourselves underway for race number 2 of the MX5 Cup here in Willow Springs, and it's a good start from pole position for Fiona Siddons. She's going to lead the way going into turn number 1 for the first time, but Ralph Cullinan and Miles Owens battling away as we run away through the first braking zone for the first time. The Irishman is 7 wide as Miles Owens is immediately on the attack, and in the background Tom Griffiths has had an off. He's backwards in the gravel and firmly out of this race.
Yeah, unfortunately, if anybody picked Griffiths, it is round for Tom Griffiths. Ewan Bramer in 2nd, Miles Owens in 3rd. Siddons has gone round. Who's she going to collect? Oh no, Ayres, Mick Barry, she's coming back on. Dan Hunt just managed to avoid an Ayres act, but that was tough for Fiona Siddons.
It was not the way that she definitely would have wanted to end a very good run at the first half of lap number 1. Tough. And, well, it's motorsport. There you go. You kind of just have to take it on the chin and just say, yeah, it happens. Yeah, but down to P21. She's going to be on a fight back, hopefully, through the rest of this race. See if she can recover at least something from this event. And now, Ralph Cullinan under pressure still from Ewan Bramer and Miles Owens. So a beautiful start from the Flying Dutchman of Ewan Bramer, who is going to look to go to the outside going into turn number 9. He would like to have a bit of a look if he can. He's got to be brave on the brakes, though. It's so tricky around this long sweeping turn number 9. He's going to have to back out of it. Think better this time, but that fight for the lead is well and truly on. Yeah, definitely is here as well. Cullinan with Bramer, with Owens. There's a big off in the back. Sampson and Brian Holmes. He cannot catch out Newman. Well, we need to take another. We have to take another. There he is. Oh my goodness me! He went into pit. Well, he did go into pit lane. He just decided late to come out of it. I'm a bit taken aback, to be honest, James. I'll be honest. Let's have a look. So we've got there's Pete. Let's ride on board with him, and then he goes in. Bit of a twitch on the rear, but that's natural. That's sort of how you have to drive the track. I just don't think he can react. There it is. Boom. You cannot see. You can barely see him. He's just a speck of dust coming back onto the circuit.
And that was Darryl Wright.
That is tough. That is so tough.
Definitely is there as well. Brian Holmes was involved with that one. And once more, Miles Owens is off the side of the circuit. Miles! My boy! Was it all on his... No! Come on! Lee Deemer sending Miles Owens off into the upside down there as well. Into the shadow realm went lead for Miles Owens, and he's now all the way back in 10th. But Steve Efford battling away with Sean Yunier and Deemer here up front, Zach.
Yeah, beautiful battle going on. Steve Efford, my boy, I always had faith in him. All I needed was a simple yes or no answer, and now he's chasing. Did you do that? That is so immature, James Parfitt. Nice. Right. Nice. That is beautiful. We had a 3-wide moment going down the pit straight, and all I could fathom is this absolute buffoon of a child next to me in the commentary booth. We've got side by side between Longo and Lee Deemer fighting away for 3rd place overall. Have to say, the Frenchman is flying in his fight. He's up 10 places into 3rd. Lee Deemer, of course, trying to drop that down to 9th and drop him off of the podium. Deemer, very aggressive. It's now the outside as they run their way into turn number 3, I should say. Lee Deemer, though, having a little bit of a spotty moment, as we usually see from Lee Deemer. He needs an Ethernet cable.
Yeah, he's there or there. Well, no, he's not now. He's on his way round, unfortunately for Lee Deemer. So that's going to allow everybody that got affected, including my boy Miles Owens, in now back up into 10th. They're quite spread out this time around, I'm not going to lie. PVG having a nice little battle with Dan, or trying to get onto the battle with Dan Hunt here, but Longo and John Sylvester battling it out up front, and they're doing really well, to be fair. 10 minutes remaining, going around the final turn 8 and 9 there, so this could be an interesting one. Phil's not happy. His pick's already gone all the way down to the end as well. Who did you pick, Phil? Newman. Yes, well, we saw how that one turned out, but Tom Griffiths battling away with yeah, that's because you waited. See, Tom Griffiths fighting out with Sir Alan Toon. Oh, Tooney's got some place here this evening as well. He's been 4th in class, doing a stellar job. Is my 70-year-old young counterpart here. So go, Alan Toon. That's all I can say to that one.
Yeah, I love seeing him do well. He's just, yeah, he's just that driver that everyone loves, right? He is the Daniel Ricciardo of this grid. As off the road, who was that? Just in behind, might have been, was it Samson potentially going off? Yeah, Tom Griffiths is about to spoil the day. There is Brian Holmes, actually. He was just getting out of the way, and oh, goodness me, Ralph Cullinan's gone off. He's round, he's down out of the top 10, and let's have a look. Side by side with Steve Hefford. Was it contact in the end? Hefford on the inside going into turn 3. He's got the corner.
No.
He lost the bumps up all by himself.
Yeah, all by himself for Cullinan there. Unfortunately for the Irishman, another, and I say this not lightly, another opportunity for Ralph Cullinan gone down the Swanee there, because he seems to get near the front, have moments, and then unfortunately he's lost it. So, yeah, the poor Irishman not doing so well. Alexander Longo, 2nd overall here, Zach, leader of the AMS, closely followed by John Sylvester. Charles Kellerman and Miles Owens having a nice little battle, and Steve Efford doing you proud. Well, only for now, dear sir, only for now, because Longo, believe it or not, is actually closing on Hefford. So Alexander Longo could spoil the party.
He could. I am so impressed by Longo today. I don't know really what else I expected, in all honesty, but he's just turned today. He's just basically he's broken the. It's like that scene in Back to the Future where he turns the base all the way up and like sends himself flying. I swear I remember that being a scene in Back to the Future. That's basically what Longo has done.
Yes.
He's just driven this into overdrive. You know which one I mean.
Yeah, right at the beginning, he turns the speakers on and blasts his eardrums when he plugs his guitar in.
That's what Longo has done with his pace. He's just gone phoom, and he's just flying. It's honestly, it's brilliant to see. And again, just goes to show there's not that big of a discrepancy between the pros and the AMs that we might think. Between the two classes, we have got some mix-up. We've got Hefford, who, let's be fair, he's not won a championship so far this year.
Nope.
But he's won races, and he's been in the mix, and he's consistently at the front. And then you've got Longo fighting away with Sylvester. Also, give credit to Sean Unier as well. He's also there. He's literally right there, half a second behind. As John Sylvester goes the long way round of Longo. It's going to be difficult, as I say, again, going into turn number 9. He might be forced to concede. But the two Frenchmen in the AMs, like, fair play, lads.
Yeah, I agree. I fully agree. Sylvester Longo and Chagnon, both French counterparts here as well on the racetrack. You can see what's happening behind us here once more. Just want to see if Longo and Chagnon and Sylvester can sort it out. They have done. Miles Owens, Andy Littler is just gone past there. So Miles Owens moves himself up into 7th. Not next on his list is the non-finisher from race 1 for Dan Hunt. So let's see what Owens can do. Hunt's not looking comfortable. First race of the season as well. So it's been tough for Dan Hunt, I think, to come in because he's coming in at a new circuit, Zach, and that could be quite a hindrance, really.
Yeah, it could be. Obviously, lack of experience and things. You know, you learn as the more that you do it. So it's just about going out there doing laps. I again, especially at a tricky circuit like Willow Springs, right? Like, yeah, that is what it's called, Willow Springs. I just know Willow, but Willow Springs, we'll go with that. It's fine. It's a tough circuit. You have to sort of, you know, get the most out of each and every single one of your opportunities. And yeah, it has sort of been a hindrance for some. Hefford, in fact, obviously dropping down to second. Longo trying to also spoil his day as well as he pulls alongside. And, well, beautifully done. Of course, this is a little bit further down. This is Daniel Hunt fighting away with PVG. The liveries this season are just a bit of a blur. All right, it's been a long day. I'm fine. I promise. I'm all good. But yeah, Dan Hunt fighting away with PVG. Speaking of good drives, Dan Hunt is with the top 5. Like he's in the top 5. It's Daniel Hunt from last place on the grid. Like, let's talk about this. Dan Hunt, he's not waiting around today.
No. Definitely not, and he's doing a stellar job in the process, mind you, as well. So he's catching up to Arnold Chagnon. He's bringing Miles Owens with him and PVG. Owens is a little bit further back, actually. What just happened to Miles Owens as well? Because he was battling away with Dan Hunt. But Chagnon is still onto the back of Longo. Sylvester's now putting pressure on him. Dan Hunt's pulling forward PVG. Ewan Bramer's dropping a little bit back with Miles Owens behind that, followed by Andy Littler. Jamie Ayres all the way down in 16th, battling away with Colin Sansom, who, of course, we saw only finish on 3 wheels, but up front's getting spicy, Zach.
It is, and this is actually the lead fight. I do apologise. I saw sort of a white and red tinge and just assumed it was these guys at the front. No idea why. To be fair, Longo and Dan Hunt's live. I'm gonna stop digging myself deeper because Rhea and Phil will not let me live it down. Anyway, at the front, Hefford versus Sylvester, fighting away for the lead. Hefford has definitely got his work cut out for him. I have to say, Rhea is not going to let me live this down if Sylvester does win. So either way, it's just a lose-lose this race, really, unless my boy Steve Hefford pulls through, which I'm sure he will. I've got faith. We've still got 4.5 minutes left to go of this race, so about 3 more laps. Steve Hefford, obviously, fighting away with Sylvester. Beautiful fight, 3-way, of course, at the top of the timing tower. And 3 laps to go. Let's bring it on.
How is this one going to pan out? Can this become a 3, 6, 7 car race, do you think, by the end? What do we reckon? Can it go that way, Zach, with the fact that we've got all of these cars closing up onto these guys?
Yeah. Especially if they battle, right? It could. I'd say time not necessarily on their side as such. Obviously, because we are limited in how many laps we have got, so therefore, you know, a lack of time for drivers to get into the mix and therefore fight. We could have 6 cars nose to tail. I don't think we're necessarily going to have 6 cars involved in the lead fight. I would say that the 3 that have the biggest chance of winning are the top 3 as it stands. The 2 that have the 2 that I think are going to win are Hefford and Sylvester. As much as I would love to see Longo take a win, I just don't see it as being realistic. He's not been in the situation where he's fighting with Hefford and Sylvester enough. We spoke about experience with Willow Springs and stuff, and that lack of experience costing you some time. The lack of experience of fighting at the top of a pro championship is also going to sort of be a bit of a hindrance. These two have Hefford and Sylvester. They've raced each other before. They've come to blows before. They've given each other plenty of respect before. I don't quite think that's a dynamic that Longo can fit into just yet in order to succeed.
Well, he's going to see her now as well. 3 minutes on the clock. We've got Steve Hefford out in front with John Sylvester, Alexander Longo, Sean Onier behind that with Hunt and Van Gaal. Bramer's dropped back a little bit. This could turn into that five-way fight, Zach. I'm not going to lie. We've got 6 cars and, you know, they've got John Sylvester, Longo there as well. Sean Onier tucked in. You've got Hunt. You've got PVG. None of them are slouches here, Zach. Steve Hefford's hanging on, but I think honestly, I think he's going to be more a man hanging on to the edge of a cliff by fingertips here, because I've got a funny feeling John Sylvester is just waiting. Hunt's now gone past Sean Onier as well. Dan Hunt is coming. I almost feel it's need for the jaw music here, Zach. You know, da-dum, da-dum, because I've got a funny feeling Dan Hunt's going to be there within the next lap, or literally this one and one more. I think Dan Hunt could be there.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree. Again, it's Dan Hunt, right? He's had a bit of the last season and a half has been a little bit of a mid time. Like, it's just been a bit meh.
Yeah.
But once he gets his mojo back, it's Dan Hunt. Like, let's not forget who he is. The fact he won a couple of seasons ago is that's getting a little bit close for comfort. Longo trying to go to the outside of John Sylvester. This is obviously going to be absolute music to the ears of Steve Hefford, who is going to be looking back in absolute delight. 6 cars, we were right, nose to tail in this fight for the lead. Sean Onier under a little bit of pressure from PVG. Longo under pressure from Dan Hunt. Weaving around, trying to break the toe is Steve Hefford, as you've got 2 laps left in this race.
Yeah, Hunt's gone. Hunt's gone past Longo. He's now going to be trying to move forward if he can run around the outside of turn 2 here as well, through the rabbit's ear here at Willow Springs. We've got 2 more races to come for you guys as well. Don't forget, we will take a bit of a short break after this one where we change over sessions, give our voices a chance to rest and just chill. But you stay tuned, because it's going to be an exciting race 3 and 4.
Wow. Let's have a look. That is a shame. That is a shame.
You and I both know what that was, Zach, and there was a big old gap between them.
Yeah, it starts with N and ends in ET code.
Yes.
It's yeah, that thing that happens sometimes. Again, for those that don't necessarily know how it works, iRacing has a very clever software that, you know, most of the time does work. Sometimes, though, what happens is iRacing looks at a situation and looks at where the 2 cars are going and says, are those 2 going to have a crash? Probably. These 2, though, Hefford and Sylvester, fighting away into turn 9. One of them had to back out eventually, though.
Final
Thankfully,
lap.
the iRacing sort of AI did not get involved in this one, but you can see how close to contact they are. Barney the flagman waving there in the pit stand. We've got 2 laps. Oh no, this is the final lap, of course. Hefford and Sylvester fighting away for the lead, and well, nothing between the 2 of them. Let's hope, as I say, that Netcode doesn't get involved in this one, because it'd be a shame if it predicts them to have contact, only for them to, you know, not end up having contact, and then the game saying they're going to have contact. It's one of the flaws about iRacing. It's one of the things it's most renowned for. But Hefford leading the way. He's done it for what are we on? He's done it for 10 laps already. What's one more?
Well, let's see here as well. Longo and not Longo, Sylvester and Hefford now coming into that final half of the circuit. They're on around the Budweiser balcony through turn 5 before they go up into Monroe's Ridge here. That right-hander once more, and then they're going to go down. I love the name of this straight. Down the Wings leg here as well before they go into the sweeper, Zach. Let's see what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's the final chance for both of these drivers in order to go for the moves. Hefford, of course, his final chance, and his last time he has to defend for Sylvester. It's his last opportunity to send the move to the outside. Hefford is keeping it pinned on that inside line, not giving Sylvester any opportunity to see a way through, but we saw what happened on that run to the line in the previous race. PVG drifting his way through the final corner. Across the line, though, I don't think Hefford is going to be beat. He's going to cross the line first in race number 2 and takes victory here in Willow Springs. A beautiful race from Steve Hefford. Sylvester and PVG round off the podium. A fantastic race, and well, what more could we really have asked for? Not much, it must be said. We'll go through obviously the final grid results in a few moments time before we take a quick break and head off for race number 3 as Tom Griffiths heading off, I think, for the stars in his pursuit for the for the jump at that point. Also first across the line in the AM, Susanna Chenier, of course, after Longo and Dan Hunt came to blows. There it is. Yeah. Oh, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Didn't quite clear the fence though, but it's fine.
Oh, look at Jamie Ayres' car, bro. He's been in the wars, hasn't he? Well, I mean, and here comes Pete Newman, 14th place. Did finish, mind you, though, Zach, so that's always good for him. At least he gets some points on the board, but here's the results.
Yeah, final results. 15 minutes of racing. Steve Hefford taking victory. My man. He said he was going to do it. What's he gone and done? He's gone and done it. John Sylvester, PVG, the podium with Ewan Bramer and Sean Yunier. Not only the AM win, but also a top 5 overall. A very good result for the Frenchman. Miles Owens down in 6th place after losing 3 places in the initial moments of this race, with Lee Deemer, Tom Griffiths, Ralph Cullinan and Andy Littler, the top 10. Colin Sansom rounds off the AM podium with Darryl Wright just in behind after a decent result for the safeguard driver. Jamie Ayres, Pete Newman not really having the best of races in 13th and 14th, with Kellerman in behind Longo in 16th and 17th. Then obviously come the likes of Holmes, Hunt, Toon, Siddons and Barry, who didn't quite make it to the end of this race, especially not on the lead lap either. A bit of a shame for these guys, but all in all, a very, very entertaining race.
Yeah, definitely it was here as well. So let's see what happens in race 3. It is a complete random reverse. Have a think. You've got a couple of minutes. Well, probably about 5-6 minutes here. Me and Zach Sweeney are going to go and rest our vocal cords. But for now, guys, we'll see you right after this break. Okay, guys, we are back for race 3. I'm still James Parfitt. I've still got Zach Sweeney alongside us for the complete random race 3. Me and Zach were talking. He's gone for Pete Newman. I've gone for John Sylvester as well. Now, take into consideration, guys, it's a top 7 reverse for race 4, okay? Top 7 reverse for race 4. So if you are entered into the competition, come and join us and tell us who you're going to pick for race 4. So let's have your picks up for race 3. You've only got a couple of minutes left. Ria's gone for airs, so nice there from Ria. And let's see what else we can get and who else we can get in here as well. So let's see. It's been an interesting race so far, Zach. Steve Evans summed it up after race 1, to be fair. An amazing track, an amazing race, even in a racing we've had so far. And long may it continue over the next 2.
Yeah, let's do it. Can't wait. Of course, we're halfway through the racing action here tonight. We've still got 2 more to go. Random reverse grid, of course, for race 3. And then we head our way into race number 4 as well. But we'll... Have we told him what the reverse grid for race 4 is yet?
Yeah, I just told him.
Let's keep it that way.
Okay. I've just said it was the
It
top...
shows how much... Shows them... how did you?
Yeah, I just said top 7. We got to be a little bit honest. We can't just hide it for ourselves, young Zach.
Yeah, but no, because what we do is we wait until the end of race 3 and then say top 7 guys, boom, and then we don't let them think, because they're now going to go through the whole of race 3 thinking, oh, who's in 7th place, rather than just.
It is what it is.
It's fine. It's whatever. It is what it is. But anyway, yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Good evening, Craig Jones, Gary Walsh, and Luke Mansk Racing and Performance. Thank you so much for joining us here as well. Sorry I missed your messages earlier, but race 2 was underway and there was a lot going on. So grid's going to be up very, very shortly for this one, I think, as well. Just waiting for them to forward the session, probably in about another 30 seconds to get going. Phil's gone PVG. Ooh, it's not a bad shout on a round of reverse, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, it's true. He's a strong pick. That's why I went for Newman, because no matter where he starts, he's going to make places up.
Newman hasn't been on my radar this evening.
I mean, he won race 1.
No, he didn't. Did he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did. Sorry, yeah, he did. Shadow, good luck, everyone. Good evening, sir. How are you? You're going to join in, Shadow. You're in the standings. You've just not picked. You've got time for race 3 and race 4 if you want to get yourselves involved. Give yourself a little bit of a boost. Here once more. That's a really good point, Zach. Hey, basic counterpoint, though. You know and will be thinking the whole of race 3. Huh?
I think that's in regards to reverse grid knowledge. Yeah, but we're the professionals, so we deserve to know.
Yeah, I'll go with what Zach said.
Not telling us, no, it's not. It's just holding the truth.
Yeah, it's withholding information, and you know, that's a crime. I'd say Holmes as usual, but he's bogged it so far. Yeah, he has. Well, I'll put you down for Holmes, Shadow. So let's get you some points on the board. And, you know, come and join in for race 3 and race 4, sir. Alan has this. What's Alan? Are you going for Alan Toon or are you going for Holmes? Which one, Shadow? Come on, tell us. So I can write it down so I don't get it right when I'm tallying up the points. Or don't get it wrong, sorry, I should say, when I'm tallying up the points. So there you go. But yeah, I think the racing's been great here, to be honest. I think this circuit has provided some great racing. I'd love to see TCRs or Clios around here. It might be an idea for next season, I think, to be honest.
Yeah, well, it's an American track. Could have put it on the TCR calendar. Maybe swap Mosport for it. I know it's a bit late notice.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Keep it in the USA, wouldn't it?
I was thinking that.
Also, short notice, people have to buy a new track, and yeah.
Give it to me. What am I giving to you? Who am I giving? Alan. Alan Toon. Right. Shadow, that's it. I've locked it in. No more changing your mind. I am calm.
Didn't even say please.
I know.
Give it to me, please.
Didn't even, did he? Honestly, there's YouTube regulars. I don't know what's going on here tonight. I'll tell you.
They're a bit too big for their boots now, aren't they?
Yeah, we're attracting the riffraff. Right, here is the grid for race 3. John Sylvester on pole with Littler, Deemer, Barry, Sanson, PVG, Owens, Longo, Holmes, Cullinan, Sampson, and Ayres. Ouch. Tooney, Hunt, Newman, Wright, Caliban, Bramer, Hefford, Griffiths, Siddons, and Chagnon at the back. So this is going to be an interesting one. John Sylvester out in front. My man, y'all. is first place.
Yes, well done.
But here we go. The grid is up. The people are running. The race isn't going to be underway. John Sylvester gets away off that line with Alan Toon in second. Lee Dima in third. Mick Barry, Colin Sanson all fighting out as well as we head down into turn one. And at the moment, John Sylvester's on to an absolute flyer here as well. Mick Barry's in the mix. Oh no! PBG's off into the shadows. He has joined the cast of Stranger Things as PVG into the upside down he goes. Pretty wide with Littler, Longo and Owens here as well. But it is John Sylvester out in front, Zach. Not a great start for PVG. Martin Sampson's off the gravel as well. There's three wide further back with Ralph Cullen and Dan Hunt in the mix. But John Sylvester's cleaned his boots. He's got them done and he's off.
He is, and he's not really been too interested in waiting around either. John Sylvester flying at the front. Any steady progress through the field for anyone? Ewan Bramer, Jamie Ez and Jamie Ez and Ewan Bramer both up 5 and 6 places apiece. I mean, Ewan Bramer flying his way through the field. Pete Newman himself up 4 places alongside Dan Hunt in that fight for P10. So beautiful progress from those two. But absolute carnage as Charles Kellerman is off. So
Steve
too
Hefford.
is Steve Hefford after the high of race 2. Seems to be a running theme. Race 1, Pete Newman won. Race 2, Pete Newman's off. Race 2, Steve Hefford won. Race 3, Steve Hefford is off. I'm not saying there's a pattern, but that's exactly what I'm saying. I'm saying there's a pattern.
You are, yes. Phil's coming to chat. He said he's just given up. Oh no! Miles Owens is off as well. What is going on here? Race 3, Zach, has turned into carnage.
Yeah. I don't know what I think these guys have gotten a bit too comfortable with Willow Springs. They've just said, yeah, we've done 2 races, we're experts. Nah, no you're not. No you're not. And they're finding it out the hard way, I think. They're going for moves that aren't on. Yeah, they're going for gaps that aren't gaps. They're just being a little bit silly billies. They're pushing the limits. And obviously that's always a good thing. But push the limits when you've got practice and you've got a million chances to go at it and do it again. Oh my goodness me, there's more.
Oh,
there is more.
Longo
for the second race in a row at the same corner finds himself off the road.
Yeah, right, and sitting side by side as they're going up through the Budweiser balcony here as well. Turn 4 at Willow Springs once more. Sylvester's opened up the gap. Newman's stuck behind Mick Barry. Here he cannot make through. Martin Sampson's going off into the shadow realm there as well. The upside down for Martin Sampson. He's joined in Stranger Things, but Sylvester with Dima out in front at the moment as well. Mick Barry, Dan Hunt, Pete Newman. Newman is through. Hunt's trying to follow him through as well. The inside of 8 and 9 at the moment, a number 1 car. Can he get past Mick Barry in that pink Results Clothing iRacing team? Not this time. He's got to try that cutback, Zach. But Dima and Sylvester not far apart at all.
Nah, not at all. They are really keeping each other nice and honest. Dima, again, I have to say, driving a really good race. And obviously being really aggressive. Has had a couple of mishaps so far this evening, but all in all, his pace has been mightily impressive. Brian Holmes, by the way, Shadow. I'm just saying he's doing a little bit better than Alan.
Yeah.
I don't want to say you should have trusted your gut, but you should have trusted your gut.
Yeah, I just noticed that as well.
You're not saying please.
Yeah, Brian Holmes.
You should have said please.
Brian Holmes would have been the pick there. I'm not going to lie on that one. Doing a great job. Ewan Bramer giving Pete Newman a hard time here as well. Newman up 10 in 5th. Here once more. Bramer up 12, sitting in 6th place, battling away. Once more is Pete Newman and Ewan Bramer as well. I'm shocked that Brett Newman is where he is in the championship, Zach. I think I was more expecting Newman to be higher up, but he's not. And that, for us, is probably a bit of a shock, to be honest, because he's generally a super quick driver.
He is. And you would expect that, but everyone has their off days, I suppose. Everyone sort of, sometimes, it might not have been off day, it might just be an off race. And obviously for them, that it's just so happened that they're not quite up there as of yet. Of course, you need to give them time. We still have just about 10.5 minutes left to go of this race. So still plenty of battles yet to be had. Pete Newman, Ewan Bramer, Dan Hunt and Tom Griffiths fighting away over what is 5th place overall. Ewan Bramer pulls out to the right-hand side. Going into turn number 1, of course, he's got to be brave on the brakes and have that speed to carry. Pete Newman holding firm on that inside line already up at 10 places from where he started. Dan Hunt as well, up 8, trying to launch an attack on the SOB car to the outside of turn number 2. Dan Hunt, of course, that red and white machine, trying to go the long way round. Beautifully danced. I have to say, he's carried the speed so well. It gives him the inside going into turn number 3. And well, Dan Hunt, I think, might have this one.
Dan Hunt's looking, it's got the inside of 3 here. A great job from Dan Hunt. Ewan Bramer gets demoted down. Miles Owens battling it out with a 999 of Andy Littler. Manages to go through, holds on to that position. Lee Diemer, John Sylvester, Brian Holmes, 1, 2, 3 at the moment. Battles commencing further back as well. We got Jamie Ayres a second behind and a second in front, all at the same time. And then you got Newman, Hunt, Bramer and Griffiths. That's going to be an interesting one. Can John Sylvester wrap this up? 9 minutes remaining here, Zach. What do we reckon?
Well, I don't think wrapping it up is the phrase I'd use. I'd say, I don't even know what I'd say. It just wouldn't be wrapping up. I don't think he's going to be able to dominate this race. I think he is going to, he is going to stay at the front, obviously, but it's going to be a hard-fought battle between now and then, especially with that chasing pack of Newman, Hunt, Bramer, and Griffiths. Only a second and a half back on this lead fight. They could find themselves involved. Sylvester, I've got no doubt, could win this race. He's not going to do it easily, though.
Well, he's got Lee Diemer tucked up right behind him. We've seen Diemer sometimes make mistakes. Let's see what happens in this one. This is your battle for first place. This is Sylvester in the SOB, Diemer in the Fix Auto Excite, and Brian Holmes in the Orion with the closing. Jamie Ayres from Team Momo, Pure Sims behind that, DOF, and another SOB bringing up the back there with Ewan Bramer, Tom Griffiths further back from that one. 8 minutes remaining. John Sylvester out in front in that Budweiser. Through the Budweiser balcony they go, dropping down into turn 5 before they go into Monroe Ridge. Jamie Ayres joined the pack here, Zach, as well. He's got an opportunity. Can he make the most of it? That's going to be the question.
Yeah, that is true. He's going to need to obviously make amends for what happened in race 2. He wants to move his way forward, but to be fair, everyone inside the top 10 has made up places, and for the vast majority of them, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 drivers up 10 places at least, as now Dan Hunt tries to spark a move on Pete Newman and get his total up to 9 apiece for Pete Newman and Dan Hunt. Not quite going to work on this occasion going through, but as we're halfway through race number 3, still plenty more action to come. I have to say, already halfway through race 3, it's gone quick.
Yeah, we could end up here with an 8-car fight. Diemer's gone for the lead over Sylvester there. I think he's going to get it. He has got it. Ayres is now battling away with the outside of Sylvester. Newman's closing. Holmes is closing. Ayres is running round the outside of John Sylvester here as well. As he's going round the outside of turn 2. He will have the inside for free. Diemer's got it a little bit wrong though. Almost brought the pack up together. They're going to be 3 wide going into turn 3. Oh, Jamie Ayres is on the outside. He's trying it now in turn 4. 2 wide, 3 deep. Sylvester gets it wrong. Somebody else does as well. They're off. Ayres is off. Ayres is off. I think he's gone with Diemer. That's released Brian Holmes there, Zach, but I think Jamie Ayres is gone. Oh, he has. Oh,
What's happened?
Diemer squeezes. Oh, that gap again. Playing his part this evening. Not gonna lie, but Diemer and Jamie Ayres there.
Wasn't on. It just wasn't on. As I say, yeah, he has had a couple of mishaps. Brian Holmes, by the way, Shadow is kicking himself. Hindsight is a beautiful thing when you've got it. Holmes making the most of race 3. Also, speaking of 3s, it's 3 wide going into turn 1. At least it was momentarily. You've got Pete Newman picking his way up into 2nd. Dan Hunt and Sylvester fighting away over 3rd. Sylvester dropping down a couple of places. We did say his lead would not come without trial by fire. Dan Hunt the long way round. He loves that move. He's even got enough grip to bring it back to the racing line. That is how good of a driver he is through turn number 2. And, well, Pete Newman now going for the lead as well, looking to the inside of 3.
Yeah, he's going up the inside of Brian Holmes into turn 3 there as well. Holmes kind of almost doesn't shut the door. That's released Pete Newman here once more. Oh, no. No, don't do that to my boy. Hello. Well, that's one way to kill your car, John Sylvester. And he has killed it. Come on.
What is it with race 3 and just people forgetting how to drive? Like,
I don't know, but why do I always end up with one DNF a night? Oh,
I don't know.
horrible.
Yeah. It's
I always end up with a DNF. I always end up with a DNF a night. What a horrendous night.
Well,
last week I was lucky. I lucked in last week. I didn't get one. And then this week, back to normal. So that's nice.
Well, I've just had good predictions. I had second place in race 1 with Ayres, had a win in race 2 with Hefford, and now at the moment I'm winning race 3 with Newman. So, you know, I'm just saying, consistency is key. Consistency wins championships, especially when it comes to the Prediction Cup. Unfortunately, when they say consistent, James, they don't mean consistently have a DNF.
Thanks, mate.
They mean consistently. They mean consistently have drivers at the front. But yeah, I'm quite proud of Pete Newman. Again, he had this slump in race 2, but immediately is willing to correct it. He's up 14 places from 15th on the grid into the lead. He might win this race. I have confidence in him that he could. But like with anyone that's led this race so far, it's not going to be easy.
No, definitely not. Here as well, Dan Hunt now's chasing down Newman. Newman is first. Hunt, Bramer, Holmes, Griffiths, and Ayres. Shadow said if he'd have voted for him, he'd have crashed by now. Well, you never know, to be honest. Shadow, it's ifs and buts
and
and
babies. If you asked him
babies.
nicely, he wouldn't have crashed.
Maybe. If you put please on the end, Shadow, it might not have happened. But these front 6 now, all in a line, all using the draft here at Willow Springs and doing a great job in the process. Is Newman going to hold on from Dan Hunt? They've only got, I think it's literally 3 laps to go, Zach. What do we reckon? Can it be Newman's win this evening, or can Dan Hunt take him?
Oh, I don't know. Dan Hunt is going to want to get himself back to winning ways, and he's on the outside of turn 2, and we know how dangerous of a prospect that is. Even against Pete Newman, he does not bat an eye at all. He only backs out when he's absolutely forced to. Pete Newman able to retain the lead for now. We've got what? This is the 3rd to last lap, I think, left of the race. Yeah, it will be, because we usually do 11. We're on lap 8 at the moment. So Pete Newman leading the way from Hunt, Holmes, Bramer, Griffiths, the top 5, all making up some huge gains in this race. Again, I'm very proud of him. Brian Holmes, with a small mistake though in the background, sees Ewan Bramer pick his way potentially into 3rd. I think he might well have a good look. Quite enough, but look for Tom Griffiths to get the supreme up and under, and Bramer just inventing his own track.
Yeah, there as well. He got leaned on. They're 3 wide going down now. Is it going to be 3 wide round turn 8 and 9? How's this one going to work out? Holmes, Griffiths and Ayres on the inside. Oh! Well, I'm surprised Bramer didn't get a slowdown for that. I'm not going to lie. Oh, Jamie Ayres, no, don't do that. And Jamie Ayres disappearing. Brian Holmes putting up a good battle. There's still battles going on up front as well. There's a lot happening here, Zach, as we go into the last 2 laps. Dan Hunt having a go at Pete Newman as they're coming into turn 1. Brian Holmes chinking in the background. He's trying to have a go at Bramer on the inside as well. Brian Holmes is through, Shadow. He is through into 3rd place. I think Hunt's going to have the inside line here as they go running round the rabbits here. Dan Hunt takes the lead, Zach.
He does, but there's still a lap and a lap and 2/3 left to go. Pete Newman, you can see immediately on the counter attack. They go side by side into turn number 3. As well, Dan Hunt basically looks over to Pete Newman and says, "I'm out braking you into the next corner." Anyone that's watched the Ford versus Ferrari Le Mans 66 film knows that's exactly what Ken Miles said to another competitor as well, going into that exact same corner. Just said, "Mate, I'm going to outbrake you into the next corner." It's exactly what he did. Dan Hunt making his way past, well, staying ahead, I should say, of Pete Newman more than anything, but both of them in their absolutely titanic fight at the front of the field with a lap and a half, less than, left to go in race number 3. Holmes, Bramer, Ayres and Griffiths fighting away for the final podium spot as well, breaking themselves away from the top 2 and losing contact with them. So it's a 2-horse race for the lead, but a 4-horse race for 3rd.
Yeah, Newman now coming at it. He's trying to have a go at Hunt. He's trying to get through. Here's Pete Newman. He's putting him under pressure. The final lap, Brian Holmes. It's going to be Ewan Bramer, Brian Holmes, Tom Griffiths, Jamie Ayres battling it out. Newman's going to try and run that outside line into one. I think Newman could get it. Hunt's going to be later on the brakes. Round turn one they go, using that off-camber turn there now as well. Newman's going to have the inside for turn two. He is going to get through here once more. Brian Holmes is under attack from Ewan Bramer. Bramer's under attack from Griffiths. Griffiths has got Ayres, but it's all about Pete Newman, Jamie Ayres. Here's that half a lap remaining. This is going to be a photo finish.
You'd think so. We've had many of them. Pete Newman, Dan Hunt. It could be either of them. It could be anyone. These two could come together. It could be Holmes that wins. It could be all of them that come to blows, and it could be Sean Yane that wins. Who knows? What could happen in the final half lap of this race? But Pete Newman, he's just a few more corners. That is it. 3 corners and he's won.
Oh, he's off. He's off. No. Oh, Brian Holmes is run. Check Holmes out. He's got to run. He's got to run. He's on the side of the circuit. Oh, there's Bramer through the middle. Oh, dear blimey. Oh, dear blimey. Get ready. Get ready, because this is going to be astonishing. Hunt, Bramer, Newman. Who's going to get it? Bramer's chuffed it. He's off the side of the circuit. Here comes Dan Hunt. I think it's going to be Newman. I think it's going to be Newman. Hunt's going to get the run. Where's the line? There it is. It's Newman. Newman. Newman wrapped it up. Look at the PBG run. Oh, they're all in there as well. Miles Owens trying to get past Lee Deemer. Oh, PBG got that as well. There's one of the Miles Owens. Oh, where you going, buddy? Can you clear the fence?
Oh, yes, boy.
Didn't clear the fence.
Nice. That is the most successful thing Miles Owens has done this evening.
Ooh. Zach Sweeney.
Shots fired. Should I do the sound effect again?
Yeah, go on.
And then I'm going to do the blow the smoke as well.
Okay.
You're welcome, guys. Don't laugh at me. I'm a professional.
Okay.
You just paid me like 0.5 of a penny to do that.
I can't help that. You know what I mean? It's just this. What do you want me to say about that?
Do you feel like your money's been well spent? Actually, it's not even your money. It's UkSimracers money.
Absolutely, it's been amazing. But here are the results from race heat 3. Sorry, that does say heat 1, but that's just an automatic thing. Pete Newman, Ian first, Dan Hunt second, Ewan Bramer third, Tom Griffiths fourth, Jamie Ayres fifth, Brian O sixth, for Pete Bangle in seventh, Arnold Chandonnier taking the arms with Lee Deemer in ninth, Darrell Wright in 10th. Then you got Miles Owens behind that, Ralph Cullinan, Steve Hefford, Sir Alan Toon, Andy Littler, Mick Barry, Charles Kellerman, Fiona Siddons, Colin Sansom, Alexander Longo, Martin Sampson, and then John Sylvester, DNF'd. Right. Wow. Race 4, Zach Sweeney.
Dan Hunt.
Hunt. Rhea's going to go Holmes. Ooh. I'm paying Zach too much. Maybe. I'm going to
Hang on.
I'm going to go Newman, because I haven't picked him at all this evening. No, I haven't. Phil, who are you going for in race 4? Come on, Shadow. Who's on it? Who's your race 4 pick, dear sir?
Come on. Get him in.
Yeah. We got Phil's, we got mine, Zach's and Rhea. Rhea's got Holmes. That's not a bad shout, that, to be fair. So let's see. But yeah, top 7 reverse. So because I'm nice, I'll bring you up the results again. So PVG will be the last one. You're copying me again.
Who's he referring to?
Phil picked Hunt. Did he? Where?
ruin Zach's race.
Okay, so Phil's gone.
I've been nice to you today.
Phil's gone hunt.
That's fine. That's fine. He's just see, because the thing is, right? He can't gain on me in this race, and I'm fine with that.
Okay.
But worst case, even if Dan completely goes off at turn 1, Phil can't gain any points on me. So in essence, he's only hindering himself.
Okay. I said hunt for the start of the last race. There's been a lot happening since then. I'm not going to lie, Phil. That was a long time ago. You know what I mean? Cool, blimey. Come on, Shadow. Who are you going with? You got Alan Toon in the last race. 2 minutes left of warm-up here. So let's see how this one pans out. It's going to be an exciting one, I think. Race 4, either 100% or we get nothing. What do we think?
I want to say 100%.
Okay.
Because the top 7 didn't leave each other alone. And then it's the top 7 reverse grid. So, you know, it's set up nicely for it, right?
Yep.
So, why not? I see no reason why not.
Okay.
It should be 100.
Right, let's see what happens in race 4 here as well before we get this underway. 1 minute 30 on the clock. If you haven't got your pick in and you fancy joining in, just put a name in YouTube chat and we can add you into the championship. You have been nice, says Ria, but it's still a competition. So, there we go.
They've been very close. Well, yeah, today, but not the whole championship, and I've been miles ahead, so, you know.
Oh, Zach Sweeney, knock it off.
Well, I'm just saying, if she's complaining that you know she wants to give it the mouth, I'm going to give it some back. Well, it's not really a mouth; she's giving it the fingers because she's typing. But you know what I mean. Unless she's using the voice thing that you use. I don't know. Whatever tickles her fancy, right? It's fine. Well, there we go. We've only got 50 seconds, I should say, 50 left of warm up, so not long left to go. But yeah, if she wants to run her mouth in YouTube chat, I'm going to do the same. I've been nice, but it's a competition, and today we've been very close. So, you know, I'm going to give it some stick back.
Oh, dearie me. I feel like I'm babysitting. I really do. I'm going to put you two in daycare.
You're the one that made fart noises. You're the one that made fart noises earlier on.
No, I didn't.
All right.
Prove it.
Yeah, you did. You went...
Prove it.
It's on YouTube for everyone to see. You can't delete this.
Oh, I can. I think you're underestimating the power of my ability when I own the channel.
You can. I could get in my car and drive it into a house.
You could.
Like, I have the power to do that, but I wouldn't because of the consequences that would follow.
I could download it, take out the and then put it back up.
Yeah, well, that's all right. That's all right. Well, you'd have to also take out this admission of guilt as well.
No, that's fine. Right, here's a grid for race 4, young Sweeney, sir. Off you go.
Good old Sween Dog, going to walk you through the grid order. PVG takes pole position ahead of Brian Holmes, who'll join him on the front row. Ayres and Griffiths in behind 3 and 4, with Ewan Bramer rounding off the top 5. Then comes Dan Hunt, who's going to fight his way through and win this race in 6th. Pete Newman from reverse grid pole starts 7th. Sean Yune joins him on row 4 with Deemer and Darryl Wright inside the top 10, with Miles Owens and Ralph Cullinan rounding off the 6th row. Steve Hefford in behind with Sir Alan Toon. They share the 7th row. Andy Littler rounds off the top 15 alongside Mick Barry with Charles Kellerman and Fiona Siddons in P17 and 18. Colin Sampson, Alexandra Longo, the top 20 with Sampson and Sylvester rounding off the final row of the grid. We're moments away from kick-starting the final race of the evening here in Willow Springs. We hope to bring you along for an absolutely incredible ride. Is it going to be 100? Is it going to be 0? We're going to find out as the 5 red lights are on, the 5 red lights are out, and we're underway for the final time in Willow Springs. It's a good start from pole position from PVG. Brian Holmes tries to give him a good little bit of a fight going into turn 1, but all eyes onto Jamie Ayres and Tom Griffiths as Griffiths gets an absolutely amazing run into turn 1. He's on the inside, but Ayres keeps his foot in on the long way round as it now turns into the inside for 2. It's not quite going to work. A little bit of carnage in the background as drivers try to sort of establish themselves in this race as Dan Hunt is off. Oh my goodness me. Rhea was right.
Dan Hunt has joined the land of the Shadow Realm. PVG out in front with Holmes, Ayres, Griffiths, Bramer, My boy Newman's still in there. There's been a little bit of carnage to Alan too. Mick Barry's gone round as well. I think Ralph Cullinan is having side by side. There's a big puff of space. Newman! Oh, come on! No! Oh.
In a bit, mate. Way. Oh my god. Thankfully no one else hit him.
Yeah.
But he's out. So I think James has given up on this championship. I would have, to be fair, yeah, if I was in your position. But then again, I chose to run in tune at round 2 of last season and weren't a million miles off. So it's still alright, James, you've got this.
Mate, I got 2
You'll be right.
I got 2 DNFs tonight.
Alright.
Right, anyway, action.
Action, yeah, Shunye on the inside, fighting away with Dima for 6th. He's obviously on the inside, Dima on the outside. He's trying to go the long way round to fight for the lead. You've got PVG and Jamie Ayres in 1 and 2. Ayres goes off the road, and Holmes is just going to say, cheers, boys. Tries to go the long way around at turn 2, but he's not Dan Hunt, and he's not going to be able to find a way through on that particular occasion. Ewan Bramer on the back of Tom Griffiths as well. Look for Bramer to try and keep his foot planted through turn 2. Not quite going to manifest into a move into 3 as of yet, as Holmes is trying to look to be late on the brakes versus Ayres, but Ayres is just so brave on that left pedal. He stays in 2nd. Good day so far for Momo with 1 and 2 as it stands in this race, but still 12.5 minutes left to go. Still plenty of action between now and the checkered flag.
I agree with Phil. Restart. Start it again.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I know, but it's worth a try. Jamie has a PVG. PVG got a little bounce out of 5 there. Gave himself a little bit off the line. Coming out of that Monroe Ridge. Down into the wings leg we go. Jamie has now taken up the mantle with PVG, Brian Holmes, Tom Griffiths. Behind that, then you got Bramer, Dima, Chagnon, Owens, Hefford, Wright, Cullinan, Sanson, and Longo. And I say that because literally there is not a lot of gap between all of these cars. 4 seconds from 1st to 13th. You can see a couple going off the side of the circuit there as well. Could this be a 13-car fight, Zach, for the lead?
Yeah, in theory. Obviously, you've got 13 cars separated by not a lot, as Brian Holmes goes for not only defensive 2nd, but also maybe even a cheeky look for the lead. Jamie Ayres off the road, though, just able to hang on to it. Of course, Steve Heffer was talking about how much it slows you down. It's enabled him, or PVG, I should say, to stay in 2nd. Jamie Ayres taking the lead, of course. The red and white is Vankel, the notorious red and white of the Momo Cup. Griffiths now trying to search for a gap or a way through if he can. Not quite any way through as of yet, as PVG takes a very nice defensive line, just running it in deep through 3 in order to defend 4 and then into 5. Of course, he runs a little bit wide and Griffiths is all over the back of him, but Jamie Ayres, I mean, he didn't get that win in race 1. I think he's quite hungry for one in race 4.
Yeah, I think he is, but I'll tell you what, Tom Griffiths is looking feisty here. Don't forget this man was on pole in race 1 as well, finished in 3rd there, so it could have been more for Griffiths. Unfortunately, just about to dive up the inside of PVG. Into 2nd place goes Tom Griffiths. What about Brian Holmes? He's trying to do the same as well. The door just started closing on him there, Zach. Didn't quite get through this time, but we're on that main straight once more.
Yeah, good opportunity for drivers to make up positions. PVG, though, having an absolutely shambolic lap, down 3 places from where he started this lap. And now it might well even be for Lee Dima looking to go to the inside as well. You can see the rear brake lights illuminating your screen as side by side for the lead, as Tom Griffiths takes it away from Jamie Ayres, who's going to chuck the move immediately back to the inside of turn 2. Tom Griffiths thinks the wiser of it, backs out as to not let Brian Holmes get himself involved. Still 10 minutes left of this race. We've still got 2/3 of it to go, and now we've still essentially basically got 2/3 of the field, maybe even more, over half the field involved in this lead fight. All of them nose to tail, side by side, all amongst it, and not a car separated by any more than half a second.
Yeah, PVG gave Brian Holmes a little bit of a nudge coming off the Budweiser balcony there, down into turn 5 we go now. Can Holmes pick up his first victory here as well? I'm trying to have a think back, and would it be his first victory of the season? Probably, I believe. I can't actually remember him winning previously. I'm just having a quick look through my notes that I rapidly take during these races, and I can't actually see whether or not he did, Zach. So maybe it is, maybe it is Holmes' first win of the season if he can wrap it up now as well. Ayres out in front, Holmes in second, Griffiths, Van Gaal, Dima, Bremer, Hefford, Owens, Chagnon, Cullinan and Wright all in the mix here, Zach. This could be any one of these cars' race.
Again, anything can happen between now and the checker flag. You know, in theory, all of them could disconnect, and it might not even be one of these that win. But obviously, there's a chance for everything. Could be Ayres, could be Holmes, could be Griffiths. I'd say the person with the biggest chances at the moment, obviously, are the ones that are further up because they've got less work to do in order to get to the front, so they're already in control of sorts. Maybe Cullinan could work his way through, but it is going to be a long road. He might lose time along the way, he might lose touch with the leaders, things like that. Those that are already at the front, naturally already have a good chance of winning, especially Jamie Ayres, because he's obviously leading the way. It does help to win a race; you have to win. Obviously he's definitely doing the right things, I suppose, to finish first. And win the race. You have to cross the line in first position, and that's exactly where Jamie Ayres is. So well done to him. Seeking redemption. Ria's trying to justify the fact that she's a threat, and I think if you have to explain why you're a threat,
you're not a threat.
It's like explaining a joke. It doesn't make it funny.
Yeah.
If you have to explain the joke, it doesn't make it funny. If you have to explain why it's funny, it still doesn't make it funny. So if you're not a threat to me, even after you explain to me why you're not a threat, you're still not a threat. So just it's fine.
All right, we have got. Ayres is off. Ayres is off. We've got 3.9 seconds from first to 12th. Wow. Tom Griffiths running up the inside of Brian Holmes here as well. You saw that mistake from Jamie Ayres round the final corner. Just over halfway. We've still got halfway, 50% of the race to go. Can Holmes do it? Griffiths is leaving the door open. Holmes is going to say thank you very much. Through he goes. Is he going to carry on? The Griffiths slots back in front of him there as well. Takes his nose off for Brian Holmes. He's off to the doctors for that plastic surgeon. There's been an incident at the back. Darrell Wright and Alexander Longo have had a moment. You can see Longo's. Wow, they've had a big moment. How did he end up upside down?
I'm going to guess it's car flipped.
Oh,
That'll be why. That'll be why. That'll be why. Oh, wow.
Wow, indeed. And there's only one place we can look at that from. Do love a good cockpit cam when things happen. Here he goes. He's going up over the ridge. Punted up. Round from Alexander Longo. Up, there's the horizon. There's it is. There it is. No, there it is. No. And no, there it is. So yeah. Sorry, had to do that one.
That happened.
If anybody's got vertigo, I do apologise. But Alexander Longo and Darrell Wright having a nice little coming together there.
Imagine that in VR. Whoa. Anyway, Griffiths and Holmes fighting away over second place, just in behind Jamie Ayres as they go to the inside as Tom Griffiths braking late. Enough to sort of put Jamie Ayres thinking backwards, which is, if you're attacking the car in front of the car that you're behind, then chances are you're actually, looking good to take the move in of itself. Tom Griffiths has done exactly that, moving his way into second place. Holmes demoted to third, but I'd still say with a decent chance of winning. Again, stay with it. Perseverance is the name of the game in a race like this.
Yeah, it definitely is. We've got Wright, Longo, Barry, Newman, Sampson and Kellerman. Oh, we've also got Dima. Dima's always put himself in. Cullinan's also put himself into the pits as well. And this is Ralph Cullinan. Oh, they're side by side is Dima and Cullinan. So I tried to... Oh, come on. Oh, Lee Dima. Dima.
Wow.
Oh, look at...
Wow.
It's been a lot of upside downs tonight. A lot of upside downs.
No Mazda made space shuttles.
No, but they're doing really well.
Not very good ones.
No.
They've made them.
Hey, if they can make a space rocket that looks like a house brick go 25,000 miles an hour, mate, and to get a Mach 11, we've got to have a sleek piece of engineering. You know what I mean? Anything's possible.
It's true. MX5 to the moon.
Well, why not?
Yeah, let's have it.
Why
Season
not?
5.
Yeah, I'm sure if they put it in a Hollywood basement and get Stanley Kubrick to direct it, I'm sure they will make it look like he's gone to the moon.
No, but Chris Nolan will get him actually on the moon. So
Yeah.
he says that's true. Get him on.
Yeah. More chance of seeing.
We'll be sorted.
Yeah, I've got more hopes of getting next week's lottery numbers. So there we go.
Give it a go.
Give it a go. Yeah. Let's see, PVG just about to go out the inside of Bramer here. The interesting thing is we passed the 50% mark and we've literally nearly got 50% of the field left. So, you know, it's been an interesting. The shuttle is actually very aerodynamic. Yeah, the Indians showed us what their space shuttle looks like as well. My daughter drew it for them. She copped it and then made it out of paper mache, and they just CGI'd it and made it look like it landed on the moon. So a great job from them.
Blimey.
As well,
James has got his tinfoil hats on.
Yeah, that's everybody's philosophy, isn't it? If you disagree with the public, you've got a tinfoil hat on. Me personally, nah. Sorry, sir.
Ooh.
As Red Hot Chili Peppers bit said, space might be the final frontier, but it's made in a Hollywood basement. That just about sums it up.
Anyway, Brian Holmes is side by side with Jamie Ayres for the lead. They go 2 wide, 2 deep into turn number 1. As Griffiths picks his way through up into second as well. Fantastic move as Jamie Ayres loses 2 places in the span of 1 straight. Or does he? He's going to fight back into turn number 2 and has a fairly easy affair of that one. And on the back now of Brian Holmes, who is driving a very good race, but knows to tell the entirety of the top 5 with... Well, only, what is this? This is going to be
one more.
An ultimate lap. This one and one more. So, not long left to go in race 4.
Yeah, absolutely. Jamie Ayres is trying to run around the outside of Holmes. Is he going to be able to hang on? Can he hang on for Rhea's sake? Let's see here for Brian Holmes. She needs these points over Zach Sweeney. There's no point me even competing. I've got 2 DNFs and dropped absolutely bucket loads here. Holmes, Ayres, Griffiths going at it with PVG, Ewan Bramer in the mix once more. The lights are on. We have entered into the world of darkness, young Mr. Sweeney.
We have done. Well, I think we did see that coming because, you know, the sun was setting and it is quite late. So there we go. Brian Holmes under pressure though. Jamie Ayres trying to send the move to the outside. Is it going to be enough? I don't quite think so. To be fair, he's actually given it a really good go. The only one to try it, and he's actually kept his foot in quite nicely. Has he gotten a slowdown though? That would be the question. I don't think so. I think he's gotten away with it. One more lap here in Willow Springs. Actually, no, was it?
No, one
did we get 2 more?
Yeah, we did.
Just by about 3 seconds, I think.
Yeah, you are as well. Just about to hold on here as well. Can Holmes do this? He needs them behind fighting. He could do with Ayres, PVG and Tom Griffiths going at it. He doesn't want Ayres to have a moment's rest. You can see the fight. Colin Sansom as well out in front in the arms. He's hanging on for dear life with Arnaud Chagnon. Can Brian Holmes do it for one more lap? Let's see what happens. I want to pick up on the Sansom battle as well, but this front 6... just making it impossible at the moment. Can Holmes hang on here, Zach? Can he get his first win, which I believe it is? He's round the outside of Jamie Ayres, dropping down into 5. Holmes is going to have that inside line. He's got 1.25 of a lap remaining.
Not long left in that regard then. I mean, it's a long time to defend. It's not a long time to attack, I think, is the sort of how you perceive the time in your head. Of course, for these guys, they're fighting away. They've got 5 cars, 3 on the inside, 2 on the high line. As Ayres is trying to go the long way around of Brian Holmes. PVG as well in the mix side by side with Tom Griffiths is off the road. Miles Owens has departed. Jamie Ayres off the track as well. He goes straight on at the final corner. They're just about able to keep hold of their cars, but with 1 lap to go, it comes down to 4. It's Holmes versus PVG, Bramer and Griffiths. Holmes, I think he might have this.
Griffiths trying to go up the inside of PVG here as well. Bramer's still on the track. Ayres and Miles Owens running off into a completely different environment. They got a new postal code. They were that far left, I've got to be honest. PVG here as well, battling away with Tom Griffiths. Zach, we've got he's got almost 7 corners remaining for Brian Holmes. Come on, is he going to be able to do it? Rhea's cheering frantically while she's pretending to do work in the office, talking about bins or something, if I remember correctly once more. But for Brian Holmes, Zach, half a lap to go.
Yeah, not long. when you think about it. Literally, what, 4 corners? They've got this little bit, then 3 corners left. So not long, essentially, left to go in this race. Brian Holmes is going to be wanting that win. He's such a successful driver, and I think he deserves it after the lows he's had so far this evening. To come back and fight for the win and to seal the deal for the win, Brian Holmes would be absolutely ecstatic. Tom Griffiths trying to throw his last hope at this race, picks his way up into second, ahead of PVG, who tried to launch an attack. Tom Griffiths, he needs a run here off of the exit of turn 9. I think, actually, to be fair to him, he's at the perfect distance where he could get a slingshot off of this final corner. PVG trying to do the exact same. Could it be a copy-paste of what we saw in race number 1 and 2? That run to the line for the final time in Willow Springs. Is it going to be Holmes? Is it going to be Griffiths? PVG pulls out late as well. Could we have a 3-wide moment across the line? And it's Holmes that takes the win here for the final race. Tom Griffiths and PVG at P1 and P2 and P3, of course, the podium. Ewan Bramer, Colin Sansom up there in 5th. Fair play, taking the win. Can't complain with that one at all. And in usual fashion, everyone taking to the grandstands, as thankfully those people are virtual, because if they weren't, I'm sure there are going to be a couple of lawsuits going the way of the track owners here at Willow Springs, and probably a lot of people stood in front of a judge. But anyway, the final race in the books, and quite a good one as well.
Yeah, it definitely was, as the continued paper mache tin foil conversation goes on in YouTube chat. We are just going to wait for Alan Toon here, Zach, to finish off. He's on his way round the final corner. So let's see what we'll bring the results up. I was going to say let's see what happened with race 5, but we haven't got a race 5. That was the final one of the evening now. I'm losing my marbles.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about a race 5. I think 4 is enough.
I believe, yeah, 4 is more than enough.
4 is enough, because you do race 1 and race 2. You go to the break, and then you've got race 3 and 4 left to go. It's a nice even split.
I agree.
No need to overcomplicate it with race 5, and then it's like, oh, when are we really halfway through? And yeah, just don't oversaturate it. 4 is enough. 2 in each half, obviously, plus the qualifying as well. I think it's definitely a good amount. Anyway, the final race. Race 4 saw Brian Holmes take victory. Only just over half a tenth clear of Tom Griffiths, who himself was only half a tenth clear of PVG. Half a second back was Ewan Bramer and Colin Sansom, who ran off the top 5 with Arnaud Chenier joining him on the podium. Steve Hefford making a good recovery drive up to 7th, with Dan Hunt an even better one after falling, climbing again, rounds off in 8th. Miles Owens and John Sylvester the top 10, with Andy Littler and Jamie Ayres in behind that. Ralph Cullinan, Lee Deemer and Alexandra Longo, with Darrell Wright as well in behind, rounding off the top 17. And then, of course, you've got Mick Barry, Pete Newman, Charles Kellerman and Martin Sampson rounding off the grid. Multiple DNS. What was that? We've got from Cullinan downwards, off of the lead lap and out of this race. So plenty of people not having the best of races, race 4, but the fight at the front, pretty decent.
Yeah, definitely. I fully agree there as well. The race has been pretty epic here. Once more, we do go on to the next race. And what a racetrack it is going to be here for the UkSimracers. They're going to have to battle their way. It's going to be a tough one. But let's see how they will get on here, Zach, for the next race, round 5, Parfitt.
Oh, yeah, it'll be all right. That'll be all right. That'll be all right.
Okay, well,
Bathurst, obviously, yeah. I think it'll be interesting. It'll be a race of attrition. 100% will be a race of attrition. Don't hit a wall. Probably good for a top 5.
Absolutely. Fully agree here as well. But that's going to wrap it up tonight, guys, as well, before we get into any more conspiracy theory conversations here once more on the JPB YouTube channel. But I've been James Parfitt alongside Zach Sweeney. Join us for the BSC NASCAR later on as well. It should be an interesting one. Maybe a very, very interesting one from Dover. But that's going to wrap it up for now, guys. From myself, James Parfitt and Zach Sweeney. Take care. Have a great week. And you never know, we might see you on the track sometime. Good night.